Wow, my hair looks so dark today. It's red. It's very red in person, but it looks super like almost black on the screen. Hey guys, it's Taylor, and before I even start this video, I just want to make a quick note. I'm so sorry about how my voice sounds right now. I know that it is not 100% back to normal. I actually lost my voice over the weekend, and now I'm super congested. My allergies are just totally acting up, but this is kind of a like time-sensitive video. It's a limited edition product that I'm showing you guys today, so I really just wanted to go ahead and film and get it out there for you guys. This is the first time that I filmed a video where I have to talk to the camera since I lost my voice, so I'm not quite back to 100% yet, so please excuse however my voice sounds throughout this video, but just wanted to get that out there so we can go ahead and move on with this video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my full review of the Urban Decay Vice 4 palette, which I'm so excited about. If you guys know me, I did one of these last year, I think on the Vice 3 palette. I absolutely love the Vice palettes. I think that they're perfect. They have a little bit of everything. They have some of the really, really bright, exciting colors that you wouldn't always think about using. And then they have some of the more neutral, natural shades that you might actually use if you're not super into the bright colors. So I think it's nice that they have a little bit of everything, and I think they're always gorgeous. Urban Decay, I mean, it's never a doubt whether or not it's going to be a nice palette. So the Vice 4 palette did come out recently, and I thought I would go ahead and grab it, kind of play with it for a few days, which I have done now, and then give you guys a full review. So that is what this is. So if you're interested in hearing about the new Urban Decay Vice 4 palette and seeing the swatches of all the shades at the end, then please keep watching. So I'm trying to start with a new format for my product review videos that I do for you guys. So basically what I'm going to be going through is price, packaging, product, and then performance. So we're going to go over how much it costs, what the packaging looks like, what the product looks like by itself, and then how it's performed over time. So I usually like to have worked with a product for a little while before I do a review, just so I can make sure that I'm giving you guys an honest truth about how it wears throughout the day, stuff like that. So those are the 4 categories that we go for, and yeah. So first, the price of the Vice 4 palette. It is $60 for this palette. It is limited edition, and you get 20 shades, which means you're paying $3 a piece, like per shadow, but there's also a brush included inside that as well, so you can kind of factor that into the price also. So this is a fairly high-end item. Obviously it is Urban Decay, so it's a prestige brand, but I think it's like a fairly good value. I always think that palettes, if you're going to use all the shades, are a really good value just because it's all in one place. You don't have to worry about where to keep it, stuff like that. So I always like palettes versus other things. Now, as far as packaging goes, the Vice palettes always have beautiful packaging. They always come with a little like carrying case that you can put them in that you can also then use for like brushes, things like that. So this year's packaging is super gorgeous. It's like this holographic, like iridescent shine thing. Like if you look in some lights, it's blue, and if you look in other lights, it's purple. Other lights, it's silver. It's really pretty. And then the actual packaging of the palette itself is like that as well, but it's a little bit more purple. I have to say I like this packaging a lot better than I like the one from last year's Vice palette, the Vice 3 palette. It was kind of silver and had like this strobe light looking, like, I don't know, it was colorful and it matched the palette, but I personally just like this packaging better. It's like a skeleton plastic thing on the outside. It's like broken glass or something, and then on the inside is the regular like plastic covering. So it's kind of a cool little touch. I thought that the packaging on this one was really nice. And now for the actual product. So this is what the Vice 4 palette looks like. Those are the shades that are in it, and I will have a closer up shot at the end when I do my swatches, but this is what the inside of the palette looks like. As always, you get like the huge mega mirror on the back side of this, so I think that that is a really great touch, just because especially when you're working with a palette this big, like what's the point in not having a mirror that big on the back of it? So all of these colors are absolutely gorgeous as always. I'm going to kind of go through some of my highlights in this palette, and then we'll work on how it performed in real life. So as far as this product goes, I think it is a classic Vice palette. I really don't think you can ever go wrong with the Urban Decay Vice palettes. Like I said, it's got some of those more wearable shades, like over here there's some neutral brownie tones and stuff like that, but then there's also the ones that are really fun to play with. For example, this shade right here called C Note is one of the main reasons why I bought this palette. Honestly, I looked at it and it's unlike any other shade I've ever owned. It's like a mint green color, but it's not, like, it's very highly pigmented, which is something that is really nice to find in something like that. There's the classic, you know, really, really bright fuchsia color that comes in a lot of different bright colored palettes. So I personally think that this one might be a little bit more wearable than last year's, or at least for me, it has more shades that I'm interested in. This bright orange shade right here is to die for. I love this shade. I wore it for the University of Illinois homecoming because their colors are orange and blue, so I put some of that on and I did some really cool blue liner, and I thought the look was really nice. This is actually one of the more wearable shades. It is called Bitter. It is a great warm crease and transition shade. it is to die for. That's what I have in my crease today, and I could not be more obsessed with this shade right here. It's like that really brick rusty red orange color. It's beautiful. The brush that comes with the palette here, it is the classic Urban Decay Vice palette brush. It's got this like fluffy blending end, and then it's got this shorter, like more dense end. The bristles are really stiff on these. I don't find that brushes, I mean, it's a brush that comes with a palette. You never expect the best brushes that you own to come out of a palette, so it's a nice brush to have, but again, it's kind of like an extra thing. It's not really what you buy the palette for, obviously. So now moving on to performance. As always, Urban Decay has made another very high quality product. This Vice 4 palette is no exception to their general rule of high quality. The only thing that I would say is in shades like these two right down here, where it's kind of like really, really sparkly shades, I found that as you started putting them on your eye, the sparkles kind of blended away. Like you can see a little bit of sparkle here on my eye. Well, maybe you can't in the camera right now, but I can see there's a little bit of sparkle right here, but as far as the rest of it, it kind of got lost in the matte part of these shades. So this is like the shade Low, the shade Crowbar. That's the only complaint I had as far as performance, that it didn't come out quite as sparkly as I was hoping by looking at it in the pan here, but that was a very minor detail. If that is the only shade that's important to you and you demand that it be like absolutely super sparkly, then obviously don't buy it. But I mean, the palette as a whole is absolutely lovely, and so I wouldn't let that stop me, and I wouldn't let it stop me from wearing this shade either. Like, I don't really care if it's super sparkly or if it's matte, but just thought that I would put that out there, that that is the only thing performance-wise that I thought wasn't that great. But as far as like lasting power, I mean, I've had this on all day and it still looks lovely, and it's dinner time now, so I think that they have good performance quality. I think that they have done really well, and I just love this palette. So the final question is, would I recommend this palette to you guys? And I would say yes, with the disclaimer that I always kind of put on Vice palette things, or any palette really that has colors like this. Yes, I definitely recommend this if you think you're going to use these colors. If you're the kind of person that really loves experimenting with bright colors, but you also want some functional things like those colors that are on the left side there, then I would say totally go for it. That is why I got it, because I like to play around with both sides of it, kind of the more neutral things and then some more like colorful looks, and I'm really excited to play around with that. But as always with the Vice palettes, if you're not into the bright colors, if you don't think that you're ever going to be into the bright colors, I wouldn't really suggest it because it won't be worth your money. On a slightly different note on that though, the Vice palette is always one of those things where you know you're not going to use every single shade, but you still feel like you need every single shade. Like, if you're the kind of person who likes to play with color, that's definitely where I am, is like, where am I gonna wear like a bright teal eyeshadow? But at the same time, I'm like, it's so pretty and I have to have it. So that's kind of how it goes with the Vice palettes I get, but you guys kind of get the idea, and you just have to be the judge, I guess, of whether you're gonna use enough colors to make this worth getting. So all in all, my thoughts on the palette, I think it is a beautiful palette. I love the packaging this year versus last year's. I think that this is probably their best Vice palette packaging that they've ever had. I think it is so pretty. Just another job well done by Urban Decay. I am very happy with this palette, and I hope that if you guys get it, you will be as well. Be sure to tag me in any looks that you're doing, just because, I mean, I think it's fun to kind of work with other artists and stuff like that to kind of see what you guys are making with this palette. I do have a tutorial that I have already put up, so I will have that link down below for you guys. It is the eye look that I'm wearing today, and I plan on doing some more. I want to play around with the colors a little bit first before I do it, but I plan on putting some more up somewhere in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this wasn't long-winded or anything like that. I did try to get it done fairly quickly just because of my voice right now, and I didn't want to get to the point where I was like croaking out my review of this product. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful if you're looking into the Vice 4 palette. Like I said, it is a great quality product as always. I'm impressed, and if you guys are into it, then I would definitely recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're interested in getting the Vice 4 palette and you thought that this was helpful in any way, be sure to give me a big thumbs up and click subscribe down there if you're not already subscribed to my channel. Also, don't forget to stay tuned for the swatches. Those will be at the end of the video, so keep watching if you want to see those, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. Love you. Bye. So guys, here is the first row of swatches. Here we have the shade Bones, we have the shade Grip, Deadbeat, Beat Down, and Pandemonium. My personal favorite from the first row is Pandemonium. I think it is a gorgeous, like, plum, deep purple color. I think it is great. It's got some sparkles in it as well. Bones, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Bones over here is another really great one. It's this very first shade. It's a really beautiful shimmering highlight color. So there's the first row of swatches for you guys. Here we have the second row of swatches. This is Framed, Fastball, 1985, Underhand, and Harlot. I think Underhand is a really pretty, it's almost like a duochrome shadow, so it's definitely one of my favorites. Framed doesn't show up too much on me, but it is a beautiful matte nude. It's great for kind of blending things out if you have a little bit too much of a dark color. It's a really great color to have in your collection, so definitely the second row has some beautiful shades in it. Fastball is another gorgeous one. It's almost an orangey, peachy toned pink, so definitely a beautiful row. So there's the row 2 swatches for you. So here's the row 3 swatches for you guys. From left to right, we have Discreet, Grasshopper, C Note, Arctic, and Robbery. Definitely the standout shade for me in this row is C Note. It is one of the whole reasons that I bought this palette. It is such a beautiful, like, deep teal color. I am so obsessed with it. I can't wait to use it in a look. This one called Arctic is another really great shadow. It's got a green tint to it if you look at it some ways, a blue tint if you look at it other ways. These are all beautiful shades. Discreet here is actually surprising. It's almost like a chinchilla nude shade. That's the best way I can describe it, but beautiful color. I love all of these. This is definitely a great row. So here is the last row of swatches for you guys. From left to right here, we have Bitter, Flame, Low, Crowbar, and Delete. So definitely the standout one here for me is this shade over here. It is a beautiful brick orange matte shade called Bitter. I talked about it in the first part of this video. I'm obsessed with it. Another really beautiful one here is Crowbar. I'm actually more impressed with it now that I've swatched it than I was when I first saw it in the palette. So that's why you should always swatch things just to check and see if you like them. But this is definitely my favorite row in the palette. It also has the shade Flame here that's gorgeous. This is the shade that I have on my lid today. It is called Low, and it is a really beautiful matte brown, I think, with reflex in it. I think that's how you would describe it. But definitely in love with all of these shades, and this is in my crease today as well. Definitely in love with all of these shades. They're all beautiful, but this final row has to be probably my favorite in the whole palette. So guys, here is one final look at all the shades in the palette. I just wanted to give you guys a chance to see all of them a little bit more up close, but I think this is a beautiful palette. I definitely recommend it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.